Your father has begun to speak of a project, and while there is no mention of Zordon, you do see that the title of the project is Power Ranger. You realize that your dad was working with artificial intelligence. He was trying to figure out a way to put himself into one of the robots so he could live forever with your mother, with you, and with Aaron. And you realize he succeeded, at least partially, because the person that you're looking for as Zordon is your father, Eugene. And as you go to open it, you realize that in this moment, you have allowed yourself, or whatever you did, activated something from the other side. And Shannon, as you're watching, you see this piston pop out from the door and punch into the right eye of Mitch.
Mitch, have you got this?
I can fucking try!
And she begins to open fire on the Nufflings that are closing in.
Mitch, from your view up with your left eye, you see kind of straddling over top of you as she fires back at the Nufflings, and on her back is Chris Witt. These two shots go off, and you see two puffs of black smoke in the swings of death, and you're shaking your head trying to get yourself oriented. You begin to pull yourself up. Mitchell emitting chimes and whines of that you would know is, dude, get the fuck up. Get the fuck up. When she looks at you, she lifts up a finger and almost touches your lips with it. I know it's you. I can feel our magic. And behind her, you start seeing each of the cinder blocks from the top left, across, and down begin to fall away. You see a glow of a beautiful sunrise coming through, and you see a horizon of golden wheat and a cliffside with a large blue castle perched atop it. You realize that you're staring at the age of always. You see that water begins to pour from the top. You realize you're now looking from the backside of a waterfall. My time in this world is over, my son, but thanks to you, my time isn't over. These moments are woven with magic. As soon as you speak, it will realize that we share the same magic, and the sand in my hourglass will begin to end. So, my son, how may I help you? One last time.
What is this place?
This is the nexus of everything. That's why I'm here. The loop, the energon, you, the others, they exist nowhere else. That's what makes this place so special. It is, if you control this spot, this town, you can control everything. Time, space, and everything in between. They broke it though. The one that you're fighting broke it. When you blink and open your eyes, Jerry, you are in 1990s New York City. And Jerry, you are high as fuck. You are across the street, barely able to stand. The interviews that you and Ben had been doing with the group, they ended a day early. You were able to come home a day early. You were able to get back to NYC and Veronica a day early. But here you stand, looking across the street, up into the window, where you see Veronica hugging and kissing another man. And you can see your feet striding. You can feel your fist being pulled back. You can see Veronica's eyes grow wide. You blink again and you're across the street, the figure of inky black looking at you. It's the moment of truth, Jerry. Do you want it to all happen again?
No.
Then fight. Not me. Fight for what you deserve. I want the best for you, Jerry. I want the best for all of you except for that bitch Shannon. That's the truth.
Why should I believe you?
Why shouldn't you? What have I ever done to you?
This. You brought me here.
Jerry, you brought yourself here. I didn't make this place up. I didn't storm up there. I didn't punch somebody. I didn't get arrested. I didn't lose my love. But you sure as shit did, or you will in about a minute. As you begin to move, as soon as you grab the back of the shirt that you were wearing during that day that is so hard to remember, you grab, and in that moment, you can see the next few seconds. You see yourself knocking two of the teeth out of the man that's standing beside Veronica. He goes down in a heap, grabbing his face. It is only then that you see Sam come out of the shadows screaming the name Jason. You see Veronica as she looks wide-eyed at what you've just done. And she looks at you, and you see that there are engagement rings on the finger of the man you just hit and on Veronica's younger sister, Sam. Later, you would find out that this was a younger sister coming to ask her older sister to be her maid of honor in the wedding that would be coming up the following summer. It was in this moment, too, that you are told later that you entered into the aerobics studio where Veronica teaches. You assaulted Jason, the fiancé, and it was at that point that Veronica, tears in her face, looked down at you as you collapsed in a puddle of your own vomit, people rushing around calling the police. And as she cries, she looks at you and she says, "You saved me a long time ago, Jerry, and I wanted so bad to be able to save you, but I can't. I don't ever want to see you again." And it were those moments, ones that maybe Jerry never remembers, but you remember them now. You see them now as you grab your past self and you spin him around a second before that fist connects with Jason's chin. And for a moment, you look into the eyes of who you've become.
Jerry has whatever this is. He's lost himself entirely to this moment. And I think he's just going to scream at himself. You're throwing it all away.
You throw the punch armed with the lightning that you have, and your darker self grabs it. And as it grabs it, it begins to blister the flesh of your hand, its own lightning crackling in contrast to yours as you are driven down to your knees by yourself. And as you hear your own voice say you're throwing it all away, you look down at yourself. "But I'm you, Jerry. I'm what you made me." But the two of you, the Jerry in the middle of this addiction and the Jerry on the other side of it with the results of the addiction, you go flying through the New York air, crackling with energy. And as you drop to the sidewalk below, you realize that the other Jerry isn't fighting anymore. He's hugging you and he's weeping, the blistered beard smoking as he buries his head in your chest. As the two of you smash into the sidewalk, he's holding you, and you hear now that he is saying, "I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did this to us."
I think Jerry's also going to break down and hug him back.
The figure in front of you kind of slings the guitar on his back and it disappears. "I'm going to leave you here now. This is your world. You've got her. It's what you always wanted. I don't want you around what comes next. Do you understand?"
Jerry's going to reach into his pocket, pull out a roll of pennies, and toss it to him, just in case.
"Are you asking who the enemy is?"
Yeah, if he's our enemy.
She looks at you when she says, "Ben."
Rise, minions, and welcome to unMadeGaming. We are here. We are back for episode 9 of Atari Midnight: The Waste Years. This one is called Pop and Lock. And as Greg has stated, the last 5 episodes, starting with the last one, are character spotlights. This one is about Shannon, and we hope the best for her. If you like what we do here and you want to support the channel, the best way to do that is by joining us over on Patreon. Link in the description down below. While you're down there, join us in the Discord, be a part of the community, be a part of the conversation. And in the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the corruption bar, this time renamed as the Maggie Michigan bar. If you would like to fill that bar, the proceeds go to this beautiful, wonderful, amazing people you see here before you. Get split among the cast here. But if you do tip that bar, please use hashtag Maggie or hashtag Michigan. If a Maggie fills, good things happen to us and we survive for one more day. If a Michigan fills, the opposite happens. And Greg tries to kill us. As of right now, we have 2 Maggies and I'm tracking 0 Michigans. So that's where we have. Both bars are at, I'll put that in there in a second. But before I turn things over to Greg, you slippery little man, you got away without answering a question at the top of last episode. Last episode, you asked us all what we would give to who we'd give something to if we died. And I said, Greg, well, who would Ben give something to? And you said, I have something for you at the end of the episode. And you snuck out without giving it to us. So what would Ben give, and to whom would he give it?
Well, I meant that you'd be able to ask him yourself. Because
Is that what you meant? Is that what?
Yeah, he's there right now.
Sure. Okay.
Rob just tackled him. You can slip that question in whenever
Yeah.
you think it's convenient.
I'm sure he'll be super ready to answer.
Yeah,
He
he's always
seems-
ready to field questions. You know, I mean,
he seems really into friendship right now. So
doesn't he? Right.
All right. Well, with that slippery answer, I turn things back to you, Greg, to take us back to the 90s that we hope never happens.
Hello, everybody. I am Greg. Today we'll be playing Atari Midnight, part of the Things from the Flood rule set by Free League. Before we get started and before I give my opening, I would like to ask the following people and make sure that we have this right. Right now, I have Ben, George, and Jerry with no conditions whatsoever. But I have Mitch, Rob, and Shannon. Mitch and Rob have 3, and Shannon has 2. Does that sound correct? Fantastic.
I believe you.
Okay, great, good, because I need somebody to at this point. Mitch, Rob, and Shannon, I'm going to ask you all a question, and the question's answer could potentially remove one of those conditions right now before we start. And it would be this. In the Things from the Flood, they have a mechanic called a scar. Now, a scar, normally what it does is it gives you a success on a roll that you have, something that you can basically inflict a wound upon your, whether it be emotional or physical or anything psychological on your character, and then kind of make yourself more in the moment. You can actually have a better chance of success. But I would like to ask the 3 that have conditions, if you could remove one of those conditions and give yourself a scar, what would that scar be? Physical, emotional, psychological? And would you be willing to do that to, right now, remove a condition from your character? But you may think about that before we get started, friends, because this is Pop and Lock, and we have a lot to do in this particular episode. So I have my glasses on. I'm sitting down. I'm going to read. My energy might be a little low, but I'm super happy to be here, and I can't wait to get into the 90s that we hope never happens. All right, friends. So, excuse me, before we get started, there are questions we dismiss as children but are forced to answer as adults. Who am I really? Who are my real friends? Am I happy? Am I loved? Now, honesty isn't always the best policy when asking these questions. Sometimes, to continue existing, we start to lie to ourselves. Of course I'm happy. Of course I'm loved. But scrutiny and introspection may make for challenging revelations. We all ask these questions, but very few of us answer them honestly. Children's shadows grow long as kids become adults, and in a cyclone of time, darkness, and emotions, as are those very same heroes that you see before you. We return to an adventure already in progress, but very soon, those questions will demand a response. George and Aaron Butts battle a creature born of the very darkness, the great dread wolf Gamork. George must find a way to save himself and his newly discovered son, for if he falls, so do they both. Mitch and Shannon feel the teeth of the trap surrounding them. Precious moments stand between them and certain death. Now, Jerry Baker is in a world of pure imagination, the very best timeline gifted to him by their enemy known as the Nothing. Rob Ott is the only one that knows that the very same Nothing is their childhood friend, Ben McKenzie. But Rob is currently too busy to share this info. Instead, he is spearing the Nothing with a vicious blindside tackle. Our heroes have a fight on their hands, and we, dear audience, have a question of our own to answer. Can all of our heroes survive? Welcome, one and all, to Atari Midnight, Episode 9, Pop and Lock. All right, friends, I'm going to ask you your questions in a second, but I would like you to know that both Maggies are booned and in play. And in addition to that, I would like to know who would like to roll leadership. Last time, if you rolled last time, you cannot roll this time. So let me know which 2 of you would like to do so. And once you decide amongst yourselves, please go ahead and roll.
Last time was Shannon and Rob.
I'm good to make a roll this time.
I'm with me, myself, and a big ass dog, so it might not make sense for me to roll. So I don't know, Mitch, if you want to try.
Turns out lead's my dump stat, and so is heart.
You might not be with the dog and child by hand.
I mean, I'll roll if you're not feeling it, Mike.
I have 2.
Mike, be a man here. Are you doing it or not?
No, go ahead.
No, okay.
I have 2 dice in that.
Come on.
2 dice for Jerry. Oh, and 6 for George Butts. All right, friends, remember, before anybody rolls, if you want to bequeath any extra additional dice to them, you may do so using these lead pools that you currently have. And so now that we are getting ready to dive back into our adventure, I will ask Mitch, Rob, and Shannon, if you could remove one of your conditions and instead replace it with a scar, would you do so? But before you make your final decision, know this. Scars are something that you can accumulate throughout the course of this. And I will give options, whether it be through barter or trade or, just my benevolence, an option to take a scar. If that scar, once you get a scar, that's fine. Once you get a second scar, you need to roll a D6. If you roll the number of your scars or higher, you live. If you roll below the number of your scars, you die. So my friends, with that added bit of information, and right now, if you take 1 scar, you can always roll a D6 and you'll be perfectly fine. But if you have to take that second one at some point, things begin to get interesting. So I ask my 3, will you take a scar and reduce your condition?
So the only benefit to really taking the scar is that it removes a condition, right?
It currently removes a condition, and I will remind everyone that conditions cannot be removed in the field of play during our session. Now, at the end, they can be using lead dice or one of the Maggies that happen to come around, or you can do so now, me being benevolent at the top of a session, because with 3 and 2 conditions, things could get nasty. Or not. Maybe it's an easy episode.
You said currently. I'm gonna take one. It's gonna be. I feel like Rob would have an emotional scar, and it's gonna be a fear of abandonment.
Okay, then write down scar, and beside it, put orphan.
Okay.
And you have 2 conditions now. Mitch or Shannon?
I will also be taking a scar. It's physical, and given Mitch's shame, completely ironic. He has the hero scar. He now has that eye scar because he just got blasted in the face with a big chunk of metal out of a door. So if I can't see out of my eye, I might as well look fucking cool. So that's what he has.
God, that's so fucking cool.
The hero scar it is. And last but certainly not least, the namesake of the episode, Shannon. What would you like to do, Meadow?
Shannon definitely will be having a scar, a psychological one in particular. She just can't seem to get away from all this bullshit. And so it's definitely created a loss of compassion and empathy probably for her at this point.
Fantastic. All right. So, Mike, you take scar and just beside it put hero. And Meta, I'd like you to put scar and put loner. Alrighty, my friends. That's all it takes for this particular moment as we dive back into Atari Midnight. And at this moment, if you could go to your Spotify playlist, everybody, we have number 1 on that track list is Cherry Bomb by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts. Turn that on, put it on repeat, but take it down a little bit because Joan can get a little waily when she so desires. At this moment, my friends, what you have before you, Mitch and Shannon. Again, when last we left this episode, or this particular pairing, Mitch, you were on your back. You had just tried to open this kind of almost like a Fisher-Price-esque safe that was part of this dastardly swinging gym equipment and play equipment, swing sets, and all of this shit. And the last obstacle to get through was this simple door. And after 2 rolls and 24 dice failure, hey, it has to be mentioned. That was a hell of the dice were telling a story there.
Simple my ass.
Well, it's apparently incredibly complex. You took a piston to the eye, which gave you your hero scar, but at the same time, you were knocked prone. At that moment, with a one-legged Chris Witt lashed to her back with rope that was absolutely pulled out of luck, Shannon was straddling you and shooting back the way that you had arrived as the Nuthlings advanced, taking 2 of them out. But it is at that moment that we return, at that moment where there is a definite time constraint and pressure on this particular moment. Mechanically, my friends, here's how this is going to work. We need to see if this roll succeeds. If it doesn't, you are going to be bombarded with more and more enemies that seeing how Shannon reacts to all this may or may not get through to you all. But the very first thing we need to do is begin our RP session, my friends, as we spin back through this kaleidoscope of hell, as we descend upon the swing sets that are spinning their pendulums of edged weaponry, and the Nuthlings that are advancing upon 2 of our remaining Garrett defenders, a third strapped to the back of one Shannon Locke. What do you do, my friends, in this moment that will determine if both of you make it?
Well, Shannon is holding down the defensive. I think the last question she asked Mitch was, have you got this, before she fired off her shots. And so she's counting on the yes.
Yeah, he says, I can fucking try, is I believe what he said. And Greg, I'm gonna fucking try.
You fucking try. Let's see if the dice are with you, buddy. I'm with you.
Suck it, dice, I'm back.
There you go. So as Mitch rises Undertaker-esque, again, he has a complete gash 3 inches across his forehead. His face is covered in blood. One eye is closed with the aforementioned hero scar. This is arguably, now, Mike, I might be forgetting something, but this is arguably the worst we've ever seen Mitch physically, correct?
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't think Mitch took like really any physical damages in the prior age. 10 years passed, but this is the most fucked up. Like blood has coated the front of his face. It looks like a horror movie. A head wound bleeds profusely.
Bad.
So he is like covered. It's dripping down onto his shirt, and then another one opens up on his eye. So one eye is closed as it's like starting to clot in the eye. The eye won't open. More has dripped down. So there's kind of like an uneven pattern of like blood from like chin down and then from this side down as the front of his shirt is coated, probably with like a sash mark from where his like bag is separating. Like this was like a little bit of like a line between where it drips down. And he's not doing great. He's had more than just his bell rung.
I will ask this too as a follow-up. Meta, since Shannon is in an occupation that violence is a pretty big, part of all of that. If what do you think when you look and see the visage of Mitch? Is there anything that Shannon would glean in this moment? Any respect perchance that she would give to Mitch? Oh, did we lose Meta?
Oh, the timing.
So no?
I feel like no is the appropriate answer, but
that's the negative, right?
The timing is ironic.
Fantastic. What we can do is this. We'll give it a couple seconds, but I will explain to you. Is she back? Good. Meta, you back? Can you hear us?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear
Hello.
us? Oh, I don't think she
I
can.
can't hear anybody. Oh no.
Just got to hack into the mainframe real quick. Give her a second.
Crisis. Hold on.
Okay, so what we'll do is, in this moment, we just freeze as that question kind of spins into the air. Meta, if she can hear us, just stop me whenever you can. She can hear again.
I just got back.
You
Yeah,
back?
it like switched
Okay.
my output. Sorry.
Oh, no problem. So what I was saying,
Yeah.
Meta, is this: with the description that Mike just gave for Mitch's current physical shape,
Yeah, I
Shannon
can hear
has.
that.
Okay. Yeah, Shannon has, lives in a world that is very closely related to violence. And so in this moment, when you look and see Mitch rise up with those described wounds, is there anything does Shannon say anything first? And two, does she think anything?
She won't say anything, but she definitely has some moments where she goes back to her earlier bounty hunting days, mistakes that she made herself, maybe a partner that had to patch her up in the moment, the one that kind of taught her the ways of everything. Thinking more about this whole thing now, the shift is almost now, oh, this is the job versus these are my friends kind of situation. I think that kind of switches in her mind.
Okay, fantastic. And so with that going through and the door finally being revealed with the combination lock, Mitch, as you look in, just as this door opens, and again, it's almost like a heavy plastic. It's something that kids would play in. But as you finally move it past, a huge gust of warm wind blasts out from what is little more than a tunnel. You believe that Mitch could probably crawl through it on his hands and knees, but it doesn't take any type of observation of Shannon and with Chris Witt on her back to realize she is not going to be able to get through here with him in tow. And so, Mitch, I'm going to leave you with that information. Meta, as Shannon looks back, you see two more Nuthlings that are advancing. You have a round until they get here, and of course, you can fire now. What would you like to do?
So I don't know the situation right now with the door of the tunnel, correct?
You would probably feel, because I'm assuming you're maintaining kind of a defensive position back towards the aggressors. So you would feel this gust of wind hit, and Chris, whose hair is long and his beard kind of blows past you, he would say, "What is that?" As he's talking, you're not sure to you or to Mitch or just making a statement, but you don't see anything
Okay.
unless you decide to look away.
I mean, I would still continue firing on the Nuthlings just to reduce potential advancement until
Then give me,
Mitch gives Shannon the signal.
gotcha. Give me 2 shots then.
Okay. So one, if the internet decides it wants to work. It does not like the iconic item rolls for some reason.
Right. We had it last time. I think the second shot took forever.
Yeah. So that was the first one, and then this is the second. Oh wow. Okay, 4 successes.
Yeah, the first one you hit and kind of knock it off path enough where one of these kind of swinging glaives, these like pendulums, come down and kind of finish the job. But the second one, boom, right through the dome, immediately turns into smoke as you have bought yourself another round. We go back to Mitch. Mitch, you're staring at this very confined, it's almost like one of those tunnels that you would see right before, about the same size like a water slide when you first get into it, only way more confined, just enough to sort of kind of skeleton down it.
I think he'll get up. So I'll get up and immediately move to Shannon, and just like put a hand on like her non-dominant arm, whichever one is like holding the bottom of the pistol. And he'll say, "I got Chris, but we have to crawl." And he starts to undo the rope on her, holding Chris to her. And I'm going to lower him down as soon as I get him free. And basically, like, I'll go first and sort of drag Chris in behind me.
Okay, once again, this would be a penalty for you to be able to do this, but because he is currently harnessed in rope, you are able to drag him behind you without having to kind of like crawl in yourself, then go back and pull him, you can actually pull and have him dragging behind you. He's helping as much as he can too. It's not like he's completely dead weight.
Yeah,
But
like I'll tie the rope like to my belt, like through a belt loop, so that way he's like still getting pulled as I low crawl through this.
Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. Mitch, do you say anything before you descend into this tunnel? And the other thing is, whoever is left outside, presumably Shannon at this moment, will have another round of potential attacks coming their way.
I only say that I have Chris, we have to crawl. And I'm assuming that Shannon knows enough that when she feels the lack of weight on her back, that like, give it a second and it's your turn to move. He understands that like, of any of us as kids, Shannon was more of like the tactical of us, especially given like who her dad was. So he gets Chris down, ties the belt on, and then begins like looks at Chris, gives him a nod, gets a thumbs up, and he begins to low crawl through this, knowing that Shannon will be right behind.
Okay, so Mitch, you begin to crawl, and as this very warm wind is kind of buffeting both you and Chris, you are making some time. I need to have another attack roll from Shannon, as you right now you've kind of given yourself enough of a space that the next wave of Nothlings would get to you right when you would kind of start entering the tunnel. 2 successes here with each of those, or 1 success with each of the shots will buy you enough time to get in unhindered.
Oh,
that is 6 successes.
I mean, just bam, bam. I mean, this is effortless. And so there is no chance. There would have been a slight chance for them to be able to catch up to you. But at this point, with the efficiency in which you are firing, they have no chance to catch you before you enter the tunnel. And Meta, when Shannon would turn around, she might see kind of like the last little bit of Chris going in. But you do see the opening. You do see the door. Do you try to close it behind you, or are you just going for speed?
Shannon will try to close it behind.
Okay. And with the time that you've given yourself, that was when they would have caught up to you. But of course, they can't, because you are a badass. And so, my friends, as soon as the door closes and you are thrown into darkness, I'm assuming Mitchell's probably allowing some light to beam ahead for Mitch. Meta, Shannon doesn't see any of that. As 2 or 3 steps in, as the wind begins to buffet, you blink and you open your eyes, and you are 10 years old. Take 5, Mike. Everybody, if you go to your Spotify playlist, please find the song, track number 2, California Dreamin' by the Mamas and the Papas. Meta, as Shannon looks around, and again, play this as you will, but the idea of being a teenager or an adult is vacated. You are 10. And, oh, did we lose her again? I think we did. Can you hear me, Meta? Oh, nope. Curse you, tech gods. Well, then what we will do is this, everybody. F California Dreamin'. As we spin instead to out of this place, this tunnel of darkness, and into an urban canyon, as one Jerry Baker stands inside of a world of his creation, the perfect timeline, the best timeline. You are on the streets outside of the aerobic studio where Veronica is holding a class. The incident that happened before, where you stumbled up the steps drunken, mistakenly seeing the fiance of Veronica's sister Sam as a potential paramour for your own love, you are able to forget all of that because it never happened. In our last session, you were able to change history. You were able to make sure that the events that forever changed the life of Jerry Baker are gone. Your future is yours to write. There was a hope that Jerry would find himself happy in this place. But the person that was your narrator, the person that was guiding you through this space, was suddenly whisked away. You're not sure exactly why, but back in the real world, it's because he took a spear to the kidneys. But here, everything is peace. Everything is calm. Jerry, this is your world. What do you do?
It's a good question, Greg. It's kind of everything Jerry's ever wanted. But he had a realization in the moment before the nemesis whisked away that now makes him wonder whether he should be here or not. He's gonna call out, like, just uncertainly on the street, Ben.
The call for Ben goes out. Nobody answers. A couple people on the street look at you as if, maybe you mistook them for somebody else. And this is the first time that people actually see you, that you're not treated like some ghost out of a Dickens novel. And I will also let you know this too. I can't believe I almost forgot this. You have automatic successes on charm rolls here. Your conditions gone, and you get 1 reroll per session, free of charge.
Pretty good deal. Well, I guess with no answer, he's got nothing to do but explore this situation. He'll head towards the yoga studio.
Okay. As you're climbing up the stairs that you took very unsteadily in the original timeline in which you climbed them, you hear a voice that you can't identify as being Ben or your prior friend that was here, but it's a very comforting, it is a very steady, and there is a very noticeable amount of pride in this voice when it says, Jerry, you're doing really well.
Ben?
You deserve a place where things make sense.
Okay, well, they don't yet.
Unfortunately, there's no answer to that. And you reach the top of the landing and the studio opens before you. Veronica is just finishing up one of her aerobics classes, and when she sees you, she comes running towards you to collect you in her arms. What do you do?
Jerry's going to allow himself this moment. It's been a while since he felt this. It feels right.
It certainly does. Roll me an empathize.
Got a single success.
Yeah, it feels perfect. And when Veronica falls into your arms, she just hugs you. And just for anybody that doesn't know who Veronica is, face claim, think of an early 20s Jennifer Connelly. And Veronica runs up and just wraps Jerry in this huge hug. She hasn't seen him, and she pulls back and looks him in the face, putting her hands on your beard. The one side singed a little bit, but she doesn't seem to notice. And she says to you, looking directly in your eyes, "You're okay here, Jerry."
I don't know if I... Do you know what happened?
I know that you don't have to prove anything to anyone anymore, including yourself.
Then what's the point?
The point is that you've been through the gauntlet. You've had the trial. You were found innocent. And now you get to live as a free man.
What about everybody else?
They have their own trials. yours is over.
You think I'm ever going to be happy with that?
She's in your arms still, and she moves from cupping your face down to your shoulders to your biceps, and then finally kind of resting right over your elbows. And she says, does this feel wrong? Unfamiliar?
No.
Then don't let it be.
Ronnie, everybody else is just as important as we are.
Are you going to save everyone, Jerry?
Who else is going to do it?
You can tell that she wants to say something, but you know the look in her eyes, and she knows that what she's going to say is going to hurt you. And you can tell that she is deciding not to do it. She's swallowing the comment that she has kind of queued up. And instead, she just smiles at you. Do you press her on it, or do you let the moment pass?
He'll let it pass. He doesn't want to hear it.
Roll me an empathize.
Got another success.
Jerry, this place, there is a distinct fog to the idea that you ever fuck this up. There is an almost disbelief that is climbing inside of you, that is pushing back against the narrative that this isn't your timeline. This isn't what you did. This isn't how everything worked. Everything's right. Everything's the way it should be. You know that if you go back to your apartment, that across the hall, Ben and Scarlet are going to be there. You know that you are going on tour with Forget the Bunk Beds this summer. You know that Lollapalooza beckons.
Well, I think Jerry might lose himself in it, at least for now. All right, like I just need some sleep, maybe.
She again falls into your arms, and this is Veronica. This is Ronnie. And she pulls herself up to your ear. And as we pull away from the scene, you hear this, as do we all, as she whispers, staying isn't weakness, it's healing. And you, my friend, are happy. And as we whisk away from Jerry's world, we pause just a moment as we descend back upon Garrett, Maryland, and its kaleidoscope of split timelines. And there, standing in the cold of Rose Hill Cemetery, Jerry, perfectly motionless, his eyes jet black, as a martial combat is going on about 5 feet away from him. But we'll get back to that in a second. Meta. Shannon is 10 years old. And again, everybody, go cue up the mamas and the papas. They deserve to be heard, everyone. And I will leave this up to you, Meta. There are, much like Jerry just experienced, there are residual memories kind of floating through Shannon, memories of riding a motorcycle, of being a bounty hunter, of going on adventures, of being older. But they seem more like dreams in this moment, hopes, desires, stories penned in a diary or a black marble notebook. But in this moment, when you look around, you see your dad, Sean, and you are standing in a field next to a hill that sometimes you all look and watch astronomy and learn about the stars on this very same spot. But as he looks at you, he walks forward with what looks to be a handgun. And he walks up and presents it to you in both of his hands. I didn't want to teach you this, so that's how you know it should matter. And he kind of shows the gun to you, presents it to you, not as a gift, more like a promise. This is a last resort. Do you know why I'm teaching you this?
Because you want me to be prepared.
He smiles. And again, he's kneeling down, and this is the father of your youth. This is the man that in the 60s rode a Harley with hair down to the crack of his ass. This is also the man that went to war. And now he's a little bit of both. A warrior, but one that carries peace as his weapon. And he looks at you and he says, that's right. Because sometimes the world doesn't listen to good people. And when that happens, you protect yourself without becoming what hurt you. Do you understand?
How can I not become that, I guess?
Because you always remember that this, and he holds the gun up, this is just metal and springs. The only truly dangerous part is the person that uses it. Always assume it's loaded, always, even when you know it isn't. This is a tool. It's not you. And the reason why I want you to learn how to do this is because I want you to always come home.
Okay. Shannon places her hands out, not knowing exactly how to respond to the situation, but leans into the moment at least.
And Sean helps you every step of the way. He kind of stays crouched down, this time moving from his knees to his boots, but staying low. And he puts the gun in your hands and he guides it. He's on the outside, like the backs of your hands. His palms are pressed there as he sets you in a stance. And he says, now, feet apart, like you're standing your ground, not picking a fight. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And he turns and he says, now, when somebody does something that makes you believe that you need to use this, when you need to pull this from its holster, you point your left shoulder at them, you make yourself thin, and you wait for them to come to you. You wait for them because this is a last resort. So far, so good?
Yeah.
He points towards the nearby rocks, just at the bottom of the hill where you all watch the stars from. And on each of the rocks, kind of positioned, are various soda bottles. There's a Mountain Dew and a root beer and Coke and Pepsi. And he says, pick one. And he keeps his hands on the outside. Take your shot.
She pulls the trigger.
Let's roll it.
Okay. Which one am I rolling? Just like a force or?
Yeah, just roll me a force right here. The Glock's not around just yet.
It's going, I think. I hope. Guess we'll find out if Roll20 decides to roll the dice. Maybe. There it is. One.
Which one explodes? Mountain Dew, Pepsi, Coke, or root
Coke.
beer? So the Coke,
Coke,
bottle
'cause she wants
explodes. Yeah, the Coke bottle explodes. And he nods, you can feel him nod behind you. His approval is palpable. It surrounds him. It's something that adds to the mystique of your father. You can always feel his pride in you. And he said, good. You breathe just like that. You rush, you miss. Do you understand?
Yeah, I got it.
And he looks out and you see just the 3 bottles, and he points to the space where the Coke used to be. And he says, no matter what, when you pull this trigger, something will be gone. This time it was a Coke bottle. There may be a day when it's something more profound. Profound. Do you understand what I mean by that? He says, realizing that he might have thrown something a little too highbrow in for a 10-year-old. Something that means more.
She pauses, lowers the gun. And she just says, Dad, when did you know that you had to, with someone else? With this?
When I knew that if I didn't, those I would love would die. And that's the scales.
So you protect other people with it too.
You protect yourself and you protect those that are in your care. That's our job. We're Locke's, little girl. We've always been this way.
Okay.
And this time, as the afternoon goes on, and it's very, very obvious to me, at least, that Shannon is a natural at this. So as the bottles disappear one by one, he finally turns you around and looks at you and says, peace isn't pretending that danger isn't real. Peace is choosing not to become dangerous unless you have to. Do you understand?
I think so.
Good.
What if somebody thinks that we're dangerous, though? Then what?
Then you talk when you can talk. You walk when you can walk. And if you have to, you run away. And if they do not let you, you show them that they made a terrible, terrible mistake. Ice cream?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Now he looks at you, and in this moment, you can see that the adult eyes show up for a second, Meta, as Shannon, again, you get this a glimpse of your father in what is very close to the prime of his life. And he is so proud of you in this moment, in this beautiful setting, in this place where information is always shared between father and daughter, whether it be the stars or the means to protect oneself or why we do that to begin with. And he says, will you promise me something?
Yeah, what's up?
Promise me you will never forget who you are, even if the world gets really loud.
That's what I have you for. But you can always remind me.
And with those adult eyes, Meta, Shannon would see that there was a moment where he swallowed something, another line, and you can still, even though he doesn't utter it in this moment, you can hear your father's voice. I won't always be here. But in this moment, in this beautiful setting, he doesn't say it. Instead, you watch as your younger self and your young father walk off towards the motorcycle that is parked at the edge of the glade, and you hear him now from a distance, but enough for you to be able to pick up. You did good, kiddo. I love you more than any of this. And with that, there is a flare of sunlight, and we must away. Let me see. I think it's about time we zip around and figure out what the hell is going on with Robot. Everybody, if you could do me a favor, and why don't you cue up Cherry Bomb track number 1 for me again? Put that on repeat for a second. Rob, you have just speared the Nothing. The Nothing absolutely took the hit and was thrown backwards away from a comatose and a completely absent Jerry Baker. But in this moment, as you crash around him, you realize that there is nothing that is going to stop him from this moment as he begins to kind of fluidly get back up. Again, this creature is inky black. It has tendrils of smoke that move all around it. There are even barely defined musical notes running like ants beneath its liquid skin. And he turns to look at you. Robert, what was that all about?
So just for clarification purposes, was it a solid mass that I hit, or did I kind of hit him and like go through him and land on the ground?
Nope, it was like tackling anybody. You
Okay.
felt kind of like a spongy, almost like a fluidly jello exterior, but before you even thought about it, you cracked into something very solid.
Okay. I wanted to make sure it wasn't like Fern Gully smoke villain kind of.
Nope. Looks smoky,
Okay.
very solid.
Rob's gonna kind of stand there and I know who you are. What you're doing.
Are you still trying to fix something? Oh, Christ, Rob, that's adorable. Please continue.
Why?
Why what?
Why are you doing this? I know the who. I don't understand the why.
It's time to rest, Rob. This town isn't in trouble. It's resting. That's all I am doing here. Do you see any crime? Do you see anybody sad? If I let things go the way they were going, Rob, this would have been a much different place. You were here. Everybody that died, the town dying, is that what you want?
And correct me on this if I'm wrong. It's essentially like upside down looking town, right? Like it's
Garrett looks, I mean, there are some places in Garrett that look identical to what you remember. Everything is shadowy and night. There's no day at any point that you can see, but there are slivers of different times. You can see yourself as kids in one. You can see people that will drive a car through one of these barriers. It becomes a wagon and a horse like driven wagon on the other side. Nobody seems to be surprised by any of this or freaked out by these changes. And now that you're kind of recollecting these things too, the Nothing is right in that you haven't witnessed any crime. You haven't seen anybody unhappy. You haven't seen many people, to be fair, but a lot of folks, but nobody seems upset. This is Garrett in the dark, but it's Garrett.
But Ben, these people aren't living. This isn't free will.
Wait, what did you say?
This isn't free will. You're controlling everything.
First off, it is absolutely free will. Secondly, what did you call me?
Ben?
And he looks down about 15 feet away from him through the force field that stopped Jerry to Ben, who was wailing in front of 2 tombstones, and sort of presents Ben and points. Are you all right? That's Ben.
I've seen the truth.
Obviously not. And he begins to kind of comically dust himself off.
Will you go by Benjamin now that you're all grown up and cool?
I believe that you may have been misled, Robert.
No, not by my source. My source is solid.
He
But
thinks
this
for a second.
jigsaw reality, you made this for everyone to be happy. Life isn't always about being happy, Benjamin.
Again, he casts a glance over at Ben, who is wailing in front of the tombstones. Well, we'll table the moniker for a moment, but when you were here before this, were you happy in that garret? The one where you were alone, Maggie was in the wheelchair, and you were watching everybody that you grew up with die or move away, and the town that you loved wither and rot. Was that okay? Was that reality?
Absolutely.
So life is pain. Life is death. Do you remember what it was like when you were a kid? Did
Very
Garrett
much so.
look like that?
I mean, it wasn't as bad, but we were looking through the world in terms of through a kid's eyes. We were looking, we were naive, we were silly. You gotta grow up and learn these things. It's gross.
Why? Why do we have to learn these things? Why do we have to grow up? Why do we have to leave what was perfect for something that is shit?
When things are good all the time, then they're actually never good. You cannot have good without bad. You cannot have joy without pain. This is just how it is. If things are good all the time, then none of the time things are.
I don't think you believe that.
I have to, man.
Why?
Or else I probably would become nothing.
I take that as a slight, but that's okay. I understand that you were just turning a phrase, but Robert, I don't think that you understand that I'm not here to fight anybody. Sure,
That's
it's fun to fuck
unfortunate.
around with y'all. Are you here to fight me?
Somebody's gotta. Look what you did to Jerry.
I think Jerry would argue with you right now that everything's hunky-dory.
Oh yeah,
And-
yeah. The zombie man with black eyes.
That's just a jacket he's wearing. He's having a hell of a good time.
I don't like this. I don't like this. And he's gonna, as he's shaking his head and turning, he's gonna walk towards Jerry.
The nothing walks with you. Rob, how can I help you out here?
I don't know. Change everything back to one singular reality. Maybe you know, bring all of us back together. Admit you're Ben.
Except for the last part, what do you think I'm doing?
You're not. You're not. Look at the kaleidoscope of things happening. Do you not see this? Do you see this in singular?
You're looking at an omelet in progress.
Oh, you're
Give me
not
some
done.
time. I'm not done.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes everything better. Jerry.
Jerry is not responsive.
Jerry, dude. And he's gonna like shake his head.
Little Prime, he is where he wants to be.
And Rob is going to take Jerry by the head and kind of headbutt, like, Jerry, please. I need you, man. Please come back to me, Jerry. Please, please.
Jerry,
Jerry, wake up.
roll me an empathize.
No successes this time.
You hear something. Roll me a contact.
I got one success there.
You hear Rob. And the next thing that Rob says, you will hear crystal clear. What's the next thing you say, Rob?
It's not real, Jerry.
Veronica is walking hand in hand with you right now, Jerry, in Central Park. And she is pointing to the kids at play. And she looks up at you with like a sheepish grin. And she sees like two twins that are messing around with a soccer ball. And she kind of shrugs her shoulders and, has a smile as she points to the kids. And then she kind of laughs and hangs on your arm a little bit. But that plea from Rob breaks through the serenity. What do you do?
I think Jerry, like, visibly winces hearing Rob. He doesn't want to.
Oh, if you don't want to. And Veronica, with that moment of doubt, Veronica looks up at you and says, they're going to try, Jerry. They're going to try to ruin this. But you've made this. This is yours. It's going nowhere, and it isn't a prison. It's your reward for what you've gone through.
Ronnie, they need me.
You need you. I need you.
I don't deserve this if I give up on them.
Roll me an empathize.
Got one.
Rob, you see Jerry blink over the oil slicks that are both of his eyes, and for a moment you start to see his pupils bleed through the darkness. And that's when the nothing lays a hand on your shoulder. What are you doing, Robert? He's happy. Do you even remember what that feels like?
You're right. He's going to kind of big face the nothing with his hands.
As soon as you try to do that, the nothing is going to like allow you to kind of like swipe at him. Jerry, violence is such a loud way of begging for meaning. Come on.
Sure.
Or Rob, there's two of you here. I get confused. Cold medicine, everybody.
We'll ask Jerry if he was happy.
Rob, if he leaves, he can't go back.
He won't want to.
Are you sure?
No.
Then leave him.
No. Jerry!
Jerry's eyes blink again, and when they open, the darkness is gone, and Jerry, With a whisk, you see Veronica disappear. It's almost like as she's falling down a well, and you can see the tear roll down her cheek as she reaches for you. And you blink again and open your eyes back in Garrett at Rose Hill Cemetery. Before you stands the nothing. Beside you stands Rob Ott. And in this moment, the two of you are reunited. Jerry, this is your moment to say or do anything that you would wish. Veronica is gone. That world, that perfect world is gone. What do you do?
Mourns the loss of everything. Jerry's stoic, sets his jaw, and he just stares at the nothing. And he glances at Rob and back to the nothing. He just, how fucking dare you?
Jerry, I would like you to add to your character sheet the following ability. It is called I Choose the Truth. And once each session, you may re-roll any roll.
Hell yeah.
And with that, as the two of you square up against the nothing, who does one of the me, just as Jerry says something to him, we zip through the air, not too far. In fact, only a few football fields, as just at this moment, much as the way Rob Ott speared the side of the nothing, the dread wolf known as the Gamork has just tackled George Butts. My friend, you stand before a creature of utter evil, utter darkness, with your son inside your father's Mustang, holding the keys with the rabbit foot dangling from the outside of it. But in this moment, as you are knocked down, what do you do?
In the moment, I think I'm looking around and seeing if there's a screwdriver, a chisel, a car jack, a crowbar, anything that I could use as an improvised weapon.
There's plenty of stuff that's, what exactly would you prefer? What would be your number one, something like a larger type of weapon, like a bat, or like you said, like a big wrench or something like that? Or are you looking for something edged, like something to plunge?
I think something to plunge. So maybe it could be a hand axe or a hatchet or something like that. It could be just an industrial screwdriver, a flathead.
I'll say this, as you kind of reach back, knowing that you kind of smash against the side of the garage when the Gamork hits you, and you know that that's where your mom and dad kept all of their kind of like pegboard full of tools. You reach back and grab the first thing that you can think of, something handheld, and as you pull it forward, you are holding a pair of shrubbery shears, previously used to do the unthinkable to the shrubs in front of your house.
So in that moment of outreach and desperation, grasping and pulling it closer to him, I imagine the Gamork is maybe opening his maw at me or something like that.
As soon as it hits you and it realized that you are not in the car, it begins to walk slowly back and forth, pacing almost like a sentry in front of the garage, but it's looking at you the entire time. And there is a profound intelligence in the eyes. This is not some beast. This is a thinking creature, a highly evolved creature, and it is simply watching you. And it's not advancing, but it certainly isn't retreating either, as it slowly walks back and forth, keeping its eyes directly on you. Every once in a while, it spares a glance at Aaron, but you are its target. And it sees that you're holding a weapon, and it does not seem to be afraid.
With recognition of the intelligence, I would look back, stare, and just ask, "Do you know me?" Do you know who I am?
I do. You are the little robot boy.
I would take at least one step forward. These aren't tentative steps, they're just very methodical. And with each step towards the wolf, I'm seeing if there's any reaction. If he's suddenly not pacing anymore, or staring a little bit more intently in the eyes versus the hand, and that.
Roll me and investigate as you're kind of looking for very specific tells to this creature. And it's a large creature. I mean, this is the size of like a Clydesdale plus.
0. That is not a good stat.
You may, of course, you can always push. You can use your shame. If there's anything you want to do to kind of manufacture a success for it, now's the time. If not, then the moment would slip past.
I would push. Is that a reroll?
Yeah, it's a reroll, but then you take a condition. Is that good with you?
I am okay with one condition.
Okay.
Let's see what we can do here. Damn. Okay. Yeah, it just, the moment passes, and I without noticing anything, would not stop walking towards it.
Right. And so, again, I don't like to completely, punish people for making a push. So you do get something out of the second attempt. And you realize that as you're approaching it, it's slowing, it's sort of pacing back and forth. And there's training that you had in the Naval Academy, probably like physical education, sparring, the ability to kind of protect yourself in like hand-to-hand combat, some of the basic courses that you've been through. And you would know that in this moment, it is making sure that it's not putting itself in a position. It's keeping a flank towards you at all times, even when it spins. It's always kind of keeping a shoulder lead. It's making itself, even with its bulk, kind of narrowing a bit, but you realize it's protecting any vital organs that it has. And if the musculature that's across it, any indication, it could pounce at any moment.
With that gauge, I think George is not deterred. I think in this case, he wants to use the size against him. So he kind of, I think George welcomes the lunge. So he's going to continue to approach.
The Gamork does not move away, again, just slows, and it looks at you intently. And it says, as you kind of approach, you do realize that conviction is just optimism that hasn't been tested yet. Do you believe that you can take me?
Everything's a test. And even the mightiest giant can be felled.
And you're willing to take this test with... And he indicates, not so much as taking your eyes off, but with a nod of his great kind of jowls and head towards the small child that's in the car. And what if you fall? Do you believe that I will leave him alone?
I think he's more resourceful than you give him credit.
You need to be tested. Your optimism is failing you. And then he turns and you see the hair on his back sprout up. Come then, see if your bite is as strong as you wish it to be. At that moment, back up in the room that had the fort of young Aaron, a room that Shannon Locke quickly vacated, through the French doors, a prone Mitchell crashes to the ground. You are lying there. You remember that you were inside the tunnel, but you also remember falling for what felt like about 30 feet. I need you to roll anything that you want to remain conscious. This could be Tinker, this could be Force, it could be any of, however you think narratively Mitch would try to keep himself from passing out.
Interesting. I think just sheer force of will. I'm gonna roll your force. He's been through the ringer. One success.
Okay, Greg's needs to find his notes because everything went bye-bye with what he had earlier. All right, you land and you're able to stay awake for a brief moment as you see Chris Witt crash down beside you. He gets up and he begins shaking as he looks and he goes, "They're gonna make me dive, Mitch, Mitch," and everything fades out. Roll me another investigate, George.
No.
You are standing there and taken by complete surprise when every window and every door in the Butts house explodes outward. The picture window, the front door, what was left of the French doors in the back, even the door that leads from the garage into the house explodes open. I need you to roll a move to see if you are able to keep your footing. You are able to kind of defend yourself as you still hit the Mustang and kind of roll up the front left quarter panel. And as you kind of spin in front of the bumper, that is when the Gamork attacks. And I need you to make another move roll. You are able to avoid its initial bite, and as its claw comes in, you're able to catch it. It takes both of your hands as it is standing on all three of its paws, and it kind of rears up on its back as it begins to push this down. The paw, even despite your strength, as you can, for the first time since you were a kid, you can hear the servos whirring in your elbows and your shoulders as you try to hold this thing back. Mike, roll whatever you were going to roll and roll it again. Force, Tinker. You are in a world of bubbles and confusion at this moment.
Okay. Do I recognize this bubbly confusion? Like, does it look like the inside of a dive?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Great.
again, knowing the way that you dive and having an intimate knowledge of it, there's no roll for this. You are caught in the wake of a dive. You are not part of it.
Okay. Cool. You don't think your way through a dive, you move your way through a dive. So I'm gonna give you a force and 3 successes.
Tell me how you arrive at the front of the Butts house. This could be as part of the explosion. This could be you getting up and running out of the house. But as soon as you rouse yourself and you're able to kind of bring yourself, everything kind of zooms back into focus. There is a crackle of energy everywhere. This arcing kind of blue light that you recognize immediately as the same hue as Energon. Chris Witt is nowhere to be seen, but you see that where this energy is hitting, it is lighting the Butts house on fire, and anything that it touches is exploding. You are now in the middle of what looks like one of those science experiments from like a 1950s mad scientist. You see, you're in that globe of energy. How the fuck do you get out of there? With 3, you tell me.
Yeah, I think diving is what Mitch does, right? And it's taken some time to figure it out and not stumble through it. And it's a place where everything exists and nothing exists all at the same time. And being able to navigate in this where there is no pathways, it's all like sensory. And so I think he opens his eyes, and it's kind of like when you get caught in like an undertow, and you're kind of like tumbling through waves and you have no idea what's up, what's down. But as soon as you open your eyes, you try to orient yourself towards the light. And he looks for whatever the source of light is, and then he physically rips himself out of that bubble towards whatever that source of light is. And it may be an arc of electricity, it may be a small fire that just erupted in Butts' house, but he concentrates on getting out. He knows he was in a tunnel. He knows he woke up in Butts' house for a second there as he concentrates on getting out, and he just pulls himself out of this, almost like embryonically, just pulls out of this bubble of goo.
And as you do that, you're heading towards this light. It's the only thing in this madness that is orienting you towards what you believe to be something other than this death that's around you. And as you pull yourself free and as you get closer, you realize it's Mitchell, eyes blasting as his little robot arms are indicating, and you hear the words and the chips as you would know is, "Get the fuck out of there, get the fuck out of there," as he's just trying to get you, kind of guiding you into the last bit of the tarmac. And the two of you stumble out down the split level steps. I'm not going to give you a condition, as you with 3 you would have been subject to one, but you crash down on the steps and you see this gigantic black wolf engaged in trying to crush or scrape or claw George Butts. What do you do, my friends, as you see George? And again, George, you see the spark and you see a bloodied and battered Mitch smash down on the steps leading up to the now destroyed front door of your house. He just crashes to the ground.
I, just in immense stress, just say, "I am Ultra Magnus," and I would like to slip my hand inside the mouth with the shears and try to stab upward into its skull.
I like the way you think. Roll me a force then, and do so with a D12.
What do you mean by that? Roll force and then a D12, or just a D12?
No, I'm sorry. This is going to be force, but roll a D12 because you are activating your innate power with this.
Okay. So a 10.
A 10 is 2 successes. As you lunge the shears up with your you take one hand away and the paw immediately begins to move down on you. You're able to evade what would have been damage to you. And as you spin and stab with the shears, you catch the side almost into the mouth of the Gamork, and you cut and kind of joker its mouth a little bit up the side, splitting, the cheek and elongating it. It roars a bit, but you see the blood coming out, but there is a sparkle in its eye that depicts a bit of glee, you would think, along with that supreme intelligence. In this moment, Mitch, you have crashed down to the outside. What do you do as you see this martial conflict? You see your friend fighting back against this thing, but this is a very dangerous situation. My friends, I will let you both know that the Gamork is capable of adding 2 conditions per attack. What would you like to do?
Mitch is a mad scientist and smart, but boy, is he dumb. And there's an age-old adage of, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And he explodes out of this orb, crashes through the door, skids down the stairs, blinks up, sees as his friend Butts jams his fist into the mouth of what is ostensibly a giant wolf. And he sort of plants his hands like the way you would on a 100-meter dash and just rockets towards this thing and attempts to tackle it.
Roll me a force.
2 successes.
You do just that. You are able to get past its defenses as it kind of whips. It sees you coming and it whips its hind end towards you to kind of punch you with its kind of rear quarters. And you're able to kind of slip under that and hit it into the ribs as you, much like Rob Ott does a couple football fields away, you're able to land your shoulder just into those ribs. And you're not certain, but you think you hear something give. There's a lot going on and your bell's still pretty rung. And in this moment, the Gamork turns and, still fighting to bring that paw back up and take care of George, it is going to launch attacks at both of you. I need to have moves from both George and Mr. Mitchell.
1 success.
No successes.
2 successes gets you clear. If you fail, you get a condition. If you fail by 2, you get 2 conditions.
Don't forget about your leadership dice.
That's true. I have 3 of those. I'm not used to having them.
The
Fortunately,
next
we
roll,
are
you can
already there.
absolutely use those.
But if we push and we're taking a condition, so I don't know if I'm in a win scenario. So that's up to Mitch on what he does.
One condition or 2 conditions?
I would end up with 2 conditions then.
I will tell you what, Greg. I am going to activate my shame for 1 success. 4 butts. And he tackles this thing, and as it comes through, I think as it like rears up to attack both of us, I think he steps in just enough space to cover butts. So I'm going to give 1 success to butts with my shame, which is I was never the hero of the story.
So with 2 failures then, or 2 away from success, 2 conditions are on their way to Mitchell, or at least they would have been, when at the last second before this claw with these 4 to 5 inch claws extended and popped out begin to rain down on you, young Aaron Butts jumps into the way and you hear Uncle Mitchell, and takes one of the conditions. Aaron has the same power that Ben McKenzie does. He may absorb a condition. However, he can only absorb 4 in total. As he gets hit and flies into the yard, his movement stopped by what used to be an interesting bush. You take 1 condition, Mitch. And George, you see your son Aaron go flying, and again, you all are very realistic, but that attack that hit the 2 of you, you see the flesh of his back peel away and flap as he flies into this shrub. Roll me an empathize, because you turned your chip off.
No success.
All right, buddy, I'm going to leave this up to you, Rhino. George, how does he feel about Aaron at this point? You all have been pretty thick as thieves here for the last bit. He is just jumped. You just witnessed Mitchell saving you and Aaron trying to save his Uncle Mitchell as he jumped in front and took that hit. Can George keep his shit about him?
Ultimately, no. I was gonna say yes, but no. I think it's he maybe has memories of being a kid about that age, that size, and being a robot, and like certain things that would normally hurt a kid never hurt him. So he's like, maybe that's all right. But I think really what happens is it's ultra focused. Like the adrenaline is peaked, like that throttle is full, and he turns towards Gamork. And I think he's just going to go with a fury of blows and just unrelenting an assault against Gamork.
As we leave this scene, Mitch, as you take your condition and are knocked to the ground again, you have now a slash that has torn through the strap of your backpack into your flesh and across your chest as it begins to profusely bleed. And as you look up, you watch as George Butts stands you're pretty sure that he actually grows an inch or 2 as he kind of takes to his full height, and you watch his eyes turn a brilliant blue as he begins very Agent Smith-like to rain blows against the side of the Gamork. But my dear friends, this episode is not called Gamorkin Lock. It is called Poppin' Lock. So if you will, take a break as we zip back through time. Shannon, everybody go to I've neglected the Spotify playlist. So please, Stevie Nicks at number 5, Edge of 17. Repeat that bad boy. It's a beautiful day. You do not know how you know this, Shannon. It is 1987, end of May. The world is your oyster. School is almost over for the summer. It is one of those moments that the beauty of the day is lost on the eyes of youth. But in looking at it now with adult eyes, or at least an idea of what it means to be an adult, you can hear the cicadas. You can smell those sweet smells on the breeze. Somebody is cooking hot dogs over a charcoal grill. And the wind blows through Shannon's hair as she swings up and back and up and back along swing sets that are not laced with razors or death. This is simply a moment between childhood and adulthood where the acts of children still hold sway and are cool enough to do. And as you swing and you see the sky and the ground, the ruts where kids slow themselves down, kind of blasted into the dry dirt, the face beside you on the swing beside you swings up and back. But this face is carrying a trail of smoke as a cigarette kind of loosely is out of it, as Dutch smiles at you as the two of you swing back and forth, back and forth. His 13, 14-year-old arms are corded with muscle more so than they maybe should be. He has his white shirt is rolled up in a 50s greaser style that the only thing that he ever really learned that was worth a shit from his dad was how to wear his white shirt. And as he swings back and forth, he looks over. And roll me and empathize.
Okay. Where is it? Oh, the last one. My favorite stat, 0.
So in this moment, it is just the promises that we spoke of, the end of the school year, the beginning of summer, swinging with a swing with a friend. And the question that comes next takes you a little bit by surprise. As when you swing up and down, you see that Dutch has kind of slowed himself. You hear the as he kind of lowers his boots and stops beside you, and he hooks his arms around the chains as he's sitting there. And as you're still swinging, he says, "Hey, can I ask you something dumb?"
You don't need to ask. Sure. What?
You ever wonder what kind of guy you're going to end up with?
That's the dumb question? I don't know. Do you, Dutch?
No, I don't. roll me another empathize.
Okay. 0. It's my favorite stat.
He's obviously telling the truth. No. I never thought about it before. I saw it in a magazine or something. I mean,
Are you taking quizzes out of those girls' magazines now?
No, I'm not. Come on now. That's crazy.
Sure.
When did you ever think about it?
I don't know. Somebody that I don't hate, get along with for the most part.
You see him like look around, and he takes the cigarette and kind of crushes it into the dirt that's the trench underneath his swing. You know, everyone always thinks I'm trouble.
That's because you are.
but not like real trouble, you know?
I mean, I guess you're not trouble enough for me to abandon you. So
I mean, I hope not. I mean, you know, we talk about it all the time. It's easier to be the bad guy than explain yourself, right? I mean, I just let
yeah,
them think what they want.
we kind of do, don't we?
So, like, if, like, what would you like look for? Like, some like rich guy, or
I don't really care that much about money. Why?
yeah,
Who would you look for?
I never even thought about it. Roll me an empathize.
Zero.
He's obviously never thought
Shannon's
about it
totally
before.
fucking clueless.
Right. But that's right, right?
Yeah.
And he kind of looks and goes, I don't know. I think I'll just know when I know. You know, I think the biggest problem people run into is that they like meet someone and like try to fix them, right? Like they see him as like broken, and they think that they have to fix them to make them like better. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's kind of broken, aren't they? That's silly.
Yeah, maybe we're all a little bit broken.
What's on your mind, Dish? It's kind of
I don't know. I mean, you know, Mom was saying something about she wanted to fix Dad, and that's why he took off. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't make the same mistakes. You know, I gotta learn young. You know, I don't learn much and he kind of indicates back at the school. You know.
yeah.
I mean, I trust you. I trust your opinion. I trust you, and like you're the only cool girl I know. So,
Aren't I like
I'm
the only girl you know?
well, I mean, you're the only girl I
Other
want
than
to
your
know.
mom. Oh,
Yeah.
wait.
I mean, you're my friend. I mean, roll empathize.
Cool. Of course. Oh, 2 successes.
He's super lying. He knows exactly who he wants. He knows exactly what he wants. He knows exactly what he's doing with these questions. It took you a little bit to realize, because this is not something that Dutch normally does. But you can tell that he is holding onto the chain because his hands are shaking. And that's why he snuffed out his cigarette.
Shannon stops swinging and looks over to him. Is there a reason that you've never asked me?
What about who you want to end up with?
No.
It seems silly. I mean, you don't have to answer. I just wanted to know, you know. I get it. I get it. Stupid question.
She reaches over to the swing and puts her hand on top of his. You know, Dutch, you don't have to say it, and that's okay. But you can be honest with me.
You know, I mess things up, but I never lie about who I am.
That's true.
I'd never lie to you. I've never lied to you.
Too bad we can't just leave, you know, get out of Garrett, be done with it.
You see his eyes go wide. I mean, we could. I mean, we don't have. I mean, no, I mean, not now. I mean, it's almost summer. You know, the fair's coming, and I want to see that new Schwarzenegger movie. But I mean, maybe, like, I don't know. I mean, like, if we don't, I mean, someday, right? Like 18, that's like a couple years.
Yeah. I don't know. I just I don't think this is the place for me. Something's missing.
You can see him. It's almost like he has notes somewhere. You're not sure if they're on his hands or in like a piece of paper in his pocket or something, but you can see him figuring out like things that he might have wanted to ask you, and this is one of them. And I mean, what do you think? What do you, if you don't, I don't feel right here either. I mean, but your folks are here, and I know you're close with your dad and everything, and I think that's awesome. But I mean, I know what I'm asking.
My dad. What are you gonna ask? You can ask, but you don't want to, do you?
Yeah, I do. Am I too fucked up?
No.
'Cause, I mean, I don't think you are. I think you're perfect. I think you're, I mean, hell, you're the most perfect person I've ever met.
Well, thank you. I mean, I don't think I'm perfect, but that's really sweet.
Listen, anyone who really sees you wouldn't want you any other way than the way you are right now.
Yeah, that's kind of what my dad says to me, actually. He taught me to be my own person. So yeah, I'm close with him, but family is family and always will be. Can't cling to other people and hope things don't change.
I like that.
Where would you go if you could, when you want to go?
Wherever you are. And he realizes, he says it before he realizes it doesn't sound cool. And I mean, yeah, I mean, wherever you'd want to be, wherever you'd go, you could pick.
I think I want to travel and see different parts of the country, and I don't know, see what else there is to life other than the same thing here all the time.
Yeah. We could, yeah, like your dad. I mean, didn't he ride his motorcycle like everywhere?
Yeah, for a while. He was kind of a crazy road warrior, I guess.
I mean that sounds great to me. Roll empathize.
Zero.
I'm giving it to you. He would go anywhere as long as you were there. Well, listen, this is, I mean, I just out of a magazine, I saw this stuff. I mean, I thank you for, like answering. You didn't have to do any of that, but let's go meet the guys. I mean, I know Chris and Nee are at Ping's getting a drink or something. So
Yeah, that sounds good.
he stops. But 18, right? Maybe we'll talk about it again at 18.
Yeah, we'll hit the road.
I like that. I like that. We'll hit the road like your dad. And he jumps up and he turns to kind of help you up off of your swing. And before you stands the nothing. Boy, he said all the right things, didn't he?
Yeah.
But then he went away, didn't he?
You already know the story, don't you?
Yeah, but I like to hear you say it.
What, that I failed them? I
Yeah.
didn't save them? Yeah.
It didn't take much for him to leave, did it? I mean, if somebody's perfect, you don't leave them, right?
Wasn't really his choice. Not really.
Everybody has a choice.
That's true, actually. That's a really good point. Why are you doing this? That's your choice, right?
You answered it with this little meet cute with Dutch. You don't want to be here, do you?
I never did want to be here, yet I keep getting pulled back in. So what is your deal? You
I
came
don't
for me.
want
I
you
was
here either.
gone. But you came
No.
for me.
I don't know how the fuck you ended up here. Tell you what. You can go. I'll let you leave.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Why would you do that?
Because I don't want you here.
What are the stipulations? So is it catch?
Leave them. You don't give a shit about those others anyway. Mitch? Rob? George? Jerry? I mean, it sounds crazy when I say it.
Yeah, you're telling me. I damn near forgot all of this. I thought I did.
Why?
And then
Why didn't you?
Been slowly trickling back. What do you mean, why didn't I? I mean, you know, I don't know what your end game is, and part of me doesn't care. Not because I don't value people's lives, but I'm just so tired of fighting against what feels like impossible forces over and over again. And for what? Nobody gives a shit anyway. Why do you care? Why are you even doing all of this?
To be very, very transparent, Shannon, I couldn't agree more. You don't need any of this. I definitely don't need you here. You never believed in this place. You never believed in that time. Do you see this place? Do you hear? Do you smell? It's perfect. You wanted what came next. You wanted to grow up. I don't need that shit here. We've never needed that shit here. You gotta be happy in the moment. Appreciate what you have. You never did.
That's probably true.
So I'm gonna give you a way
I don't
out.
really have much of anything now either.
Then let me sweeten the pot. I've got Dutch.
Bullshit.
Try me. Roll empathize.
I don't fucking believe a word you say. All right, let's see if this rolls. 0.
You may
Shannon's
push
not
if you wish. You may take your shame. Anything you want to do to try to alter that one, you can or not. I mean, that's totally up to you.
No, I think Shannon's gonna continue. She doesn't believe him.
He moves aside from where Dutch had been standing when he reached back for you. And you see, almost like if you're selecting somebody for a video game, you see a 20-something Dutch standing there and kind of rotating back and forth, like in just a little pan, as he's waiting to go into Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat or something, just frozen back and forth, back and forth. None of that shit ever happened to him. I stopped that shit. But I knew that if Shannon fucking Locke ever came back, he was my ace in the hole. And I kept him safe for you.
Bullshit. You didn't keep anybody safe for anyone but yourself. And I still don't know what the fuck you're doing here.
Something that you can't do. Something
That's
that you
true. I
won't do.
can't. What?
One last
What
time.
won't I do?
Roll empathize. One last time.
0.
If you want to push, you may. You can let it go.
I'm going to use my shame, but in a different way.
Let me hear.
Does Shannon have her gun in this pseudo memory in between space, or no?
Thinking back to our first flashback and your father's rules, would you have a gun?
Yeah.
A gun you have.
Okay. She aims it at Dutch's head and looks at the nothing.
Are
You know, killing people is how I got here. So what's one more? Are you willing to test me? Because right now, this person in front of me that you're showing me, bullshit. Not real. None of this is fucking real.
I can swear to you, Shannon Locke, that is Dutch. Not an illusion, not a fake. The one you grew up with, the one whose ass was sitting on this swing, the one who desperately wanted to tell you he loved you and couldn't. But pull that trigger and end it for good.
He's already dead.
Is he? Who killed him? Did any of that ever happen? I haven't killed anybody.
I have.
And that's why I can't have you here. You're a grown-up. We don't need grown-ups here.
You sound a little bit like Peter Pan.
I'll take it.
She tracks the gun to the nothing. What if I just shoot you instead?
I can tell you it's not going to do much, but if it makes you feel better.
Why is that?
Damn. Oh, she's back. Okay. Because didn't your dad tell you that every time you pull that trigger, something goes away?
My hair?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Jeez.
Then his response to that would have been, didn't your dad tell you that every time you pull that trigger, something goes away? That's a very good rule. He sits down on the swing beside you. The offer still stands, Shannon. Just get the fuck out of here.
What happens to the rest of them?
That's up to them.
I don't trust you.
Do you love them? Do you need to trust me right now? Trust
I might
this.
not love them, but trust what?
The offer. It's not the edge of 17 anymore, Shannon. It's not 18 when he wanted to ride off with you. But it's close enough.
But I'm not that person anymore. You can't fix that.
So we're going to do this then.
I guess we are.
And my friends, that is where we end this session of Atari Midnight. Stay tuned next week for episode 10, Curious George.
What the fuck? No, absolutely not. Okay. That's it for this episode. Let's go around, do our outro so we can get the hell out of here, do our stars and wishes in our after show. If you guys want access to the after show, join us in the Patreon link down below. Join us in the Discord, chit chat about this episode, all the other episodes. Okay. Let's start with the episode's namesake. Meta, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hello, I am Meta, playing Shannon, who is a complete wreck right now and totally faking her tough girl act right now. And yeah, I'm doing fantastic, and you can find me here, trying not to lose my shit.
Yeah, hell yeah. The namesake for our next episode, Mike, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
So I'm Mike, also known as Rhino, playing George Butts. Don't find me online. That's great if you don't. I'm here.
Perfect. Last episode, namesake, Bitters, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
I'm Mr. Bitters. Everything Rhino said.
Perfect. And over to who I assume is 2 weeks from now. Kendall, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
No, I'm gonna be last. Yeah, I guess that's yeah. Yeah, I'm not really on the internet. But I'm Kendall and I play Rob.
That's true. You are all those things. Also, you can check out Kendall over on our YouTube in a different show called Always Bloody in Duskfall. That's fun. Go check it out. And last but not least, Greg, who are you? Where can we find you? What are you up to?
Hi, everybody. My name is Greg. I am Warp Reactor over on YouTube. Join me there for science fiction reaction videos. Right now, I am out of spoons, and I am working at a George Butts 10% blinking light level. But I am so happy to be here with these incredible people. See you next week for Curious George.
We love you for it, Greg. That's it from us, guys. Thank you so much for being here. We'll see you next time. From all of us to you, bye.